Welcome back, everybody. Got another car to bring in front of you guys today. So this is my 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit Pickup Truck. Some people in the world call these caddies. In the United States, they're called Rabbit Pickup Trucks. If you call them a caddy, it really means something different. And there's some purists in the world that don't appreciate that people call them caddies when they're not. But that's not what we're here about today. Maybe we'll have that debate another time. But I took this to work the other day just to drive it for once, take a fun car instead of, my daily. And yeah, all was good and well until I tried to go leave and I had this problem. Door locks no longer work. So thankfully I had actually already done stuff with these door locks. This was back before I even attempted YouTube. So I had rekeyed my door locks to match the key that I have for the truck. And so thankfully the passenger side door lock I had fixed and worked, but I don't know what went on with this one. So today we're going to be tearing into this and seeing if we can, figure out what happened, and hopefully it's just a quick fix. I have an idea of what happened, but hopefully I'm correct in what I'm thinking happened. So let's dive in a little bit. Taking the door handles off of these cars are really simple. It's just popping that chrome trim piece off with a small pocket screwdriver, and then from there it's just two screws. So one is beneath that trim piece, and then the other one is in the door jamb, which I actually forgot about and tried to remove the door handle from the door without taking that out, and then realized that there was still another screw holding that on. So got both the screws out, and then from there it's just simply sliding the door handle out of the door. I forgot which direction these needed to go, so it was a bit of a fight, but you actually need to slide the door handle forward to get it out of that front pocket there, and then the rest of the door handle just comes right off. So exactly what I thought happened is what happened, thankfully. So you can see here the screw that holds the lock tab has slowly backed its way out. So don't know quite how that happened. Either I didn't tighten it all the way when I rebuilt these, or it vibrated loose or something like that. But we're gonna go over to the workbench now, take this screw out, and put some blue thread locker on it, so hopefully it doesn't come out that easily again. But thankfully this is an easy one. I had a feeling this was the culprit because for about, I don't know, probably the last 5 times that I drove this, which I don't drive this that often, so that was probably within the last month, I could tell that when I put the lock in, or the key into the door, the lock cylinder kept popping out after I pulled the key. So I had a feeling that it was getting loose, because that screw here holds that entire stack into the door. So, and this Y piece on the top is what hits those little levers in there that you can barely see, to basically release the door latch after you've turned the key. So it either locks or unlocks, and then when you pull this, it moves that. So that's the quick lesson on how these door handles work for these cars. But yeah, gonna go squeeze this all back together and then put some thread locker on that screw and then throw it back in the car. I tried to be very gentle and delicate with this as I was taking this screw out, because there's a spring underneath that Y piece that basically helps it return back to center after you've spun the key to lock or unlock the door. And when that whole assembly explodes apart, that spring is incredibly difficult to try and get back into position. I remember fighting with it a lot when I rebuilt these door handles to rekey them in the first place. So I didn't want to go through that again, so I just tried to be very gentle with it and not dislodge that in any way before I got the screw back in. I went pretty light with the thread locker because I didn't want to get this screw stuck in there permanently in case I ever have to rebuild these door handles and take this back apart. So got that all done though, and install is basically just the reverse of removal. So super simple. Volkswagen put a notch in the door for you to be able to install the back screw with a screwdriver. Granted, if you don't have door seals on the door, that notch is much more helpful. So I just pull the door seal up a little bit and shove the screwdriver behind the seal. That way I have access to install that screw straight on. And then I put that in about halfway and then go to the screw that's in the front of the handle on the outside of the door, put that in all the way, and then tighten up that back screw completely. And then from there, it's just double checking that the door handle actually works now. That way I don't close the door and find out that it's not working and, you know, lock myself out all over again. Volkswagen engineers in the late 70s, early 80s were able to design a completely mechanical door lock system that you could not lock with the door being open. So you can see me here putting my screwdriver into the door lock to make it think like the door is closed, and then double checking that all the systems operate as they should. The lever inside the handle releases the latch as if you were going to open the door, and then the key locks and unlocks both directions. One thing to note when you do this though, make sure that you pull the lever inside the handle before you attempt to close the door. Don't be like me and just slam it shut when the door mechanism thinks that it's already closed. But then it's just popping in that trim piece and this is all done and back together. Well, we're all done. So I got working door locks now, or again I should say. So the lock cylinder doesn't pull back out, it's actually locked. And ta-da! So I know it's not the most exciting video, but was out of town last weekend, so didn't have any progress on any other vehicles, and then I drove this to work this week and this happened. So really more of a video of opportunity, but in the future I'd really like to work on this truck more and give you guys some more content for it. You know, truly at the end of the day I have to get done with either the Mark II or the Mark IV so that that can go in one of these spots and I can work on it inside. But some of the plans for the future, I'll go through them real quick. I have quarter vent windows, so these were optional to be opening. Obviously I have the fixed ones, these don't move. And they also came on cabriolets that they could swivel and open. So I have a set of those to put in. I'm doing a project on the Mark II hopefully soon. I ordered parts to do this so I can hopefully walk you guys through it, but I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with the rear disc setup. So I put disc brakes on this car. I don't know if you can see them through the weave. I put disc brakes on the Mark II when I bought it. So I'm going to be changing that up a little bit, and I'm going to take the disc brakes off of that car and put them onto this because I don't like drums. And I have some other weird braking issues with this as well. I'd like to lower it, you know, just like everybody else in the world, and just clean it up a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to get around to that in the future, not too long from now, but we'll see. Like I said, got to get through the Mark II and the Mark IV. But and when I do those projects, you know, I'll dive in a little bit more about the story of how I got this truck. But for now, that's going to wrap this all up. So super pumped to have working door locks again, and that's going to wrap up this video. So if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.